On the fields and hills of Georgia and Tennessee, Union and Confederate armies clashed during the fall of 1863 in some of the hardest and bloodiest fighting of the American Civil War. The prize was Chattanooga, key rail center and gateway to the heart of the Confederacy. The campaign that brought these two armies here began in late June of 1863, when Major General William S. Rosecrans's Army of the Cumberland, almost 70,000 strong, moved from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, against Confederate General Braxton Bragg's 43,000-man Army of the Tennessee, dug in some 20 miles south, defending the road to Chattanooga. 6 months earlier, these same two armies had clashed at Stones River, where after a 3-day struggle, the Confederates had retreated. Now, through a series of skillful marches, Rosecrans forced the Southerners to withdraw again, this time into Chattanooga itself. There Bragg dug in again, guarding the Tennessee River crossings northeast of the city, where he expected Rosecrans to attack. But late in August, the Federals crossed the Tennessee well below Chattanooga, and again Bragg had to withdraw southward. Bragg concentrated his forces at Lafayette, Georgia, 26 miles south of Chattanooga. Here reinforcements from Mississippi, East Tennessee, and finally Virginia eventually swelled his ranks to more than 66,000 men. On September 18th, after twice failing to destroy isolated segments of Rosecrans's army, Bragg tried to wedge his troops between the Federals and Chattanooga by sending elements of his army to the east bank of West Chickamauga Creek along a line from Reed's Bridge to just downstream of Lee and Gordon's Mill. This too failed. Fighting began shortly after dawn on September 19th, when Union infantry encountered Confederate cavalry at Jay's Mill. This brought on a general battle that spread south for nearly 4 miles. The armies fought desperately all day, often hand-to-hand in the thick woods and open fields, and gradually the Confederates pushed the Federals back to the Lafayette Road. The next day, September 20th, Bragg again tried to drive between the Union force and Chattanooga, but failed to dislodge Rosecrans's line. However, when Rosecrans shifted troops to meet the attacks, a gap opened up briefly in the Federal line, at the precise moment when James Longstreet's Confederates assaulted that very point. The Southerners smashed through the hole, routing Rosecrans and half of his army. With a great deal of the Army of the Cumberland on retreat back to Chattanooga, some of the Federals rallied and formed new battle lines on Snodgrass Hill. Here they held their ground against repeated rebel assaults, and earned from Major General George H. Thomas the nickname the Rock of Chickamauga. After dark, Thomas finally withdrew his men from the field. The Federal defeat was total. Through blind luck and hard fighting, the Confederates won a spectacular victory, but the ever-cautious Bragg failed to follow up and destroy Rosecrans, much to the dismay of his lieutenants. The terrible defeat forced the Federals to retreat back into Chattanooga. The bloody 2 days of Chickamauga were over, but the siege at Chattanooga had just begun, and it would go on for 2 long, terrible months.